after the break.
Get it big, get it here. Listen to all your live mixes, live radio programs, and live entertaining and news package programs right here from GTR, Ghana Talks Radio. We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news right here on GTR.
You're most welcome back from the break. The Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission, NLC, Ofosu Asamoah, has stated that members of the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, Ghana CLOGSAG, will no longer embark on their intended strike. He explained that this is due to the timely intervention of the NLC after stakeholder meeting held on Wednesday, April 20th. The meeting was to address concerns over the non-payment of CLOGSAG's neutrality allowance. He stated the meeting was fruitful. His comment comes after the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, Ghana CLOGSAG, announced its intention to embark on strike from today, April 21st, over government failure to pay its members their neutrality allowance. The association, in a statement, said the allowance formed part of the Memorandum of Understanding entered into the government on January 20th, 2022. Despite the official reminders and follow-ups to the Financial Ministry, payment of the allowance has not been effected after more than 3 months, agreed, CLOGSAG stated. But according to Mr. Ofosu Asamoah, the circular making around in that the 5th of April, that was before the NLC intervention.
No strike moving on tomorrow. I have personally spoken to the CLOGSAG General Secretary. There is no
GTR News. GTR
National
News.
executives have not mandated any strike, and there is no strike tomorrow. The circular meeting rounds was that of the 5th of April. That was before the NLC.
Ghana Talks Radio,
so after the
#1.
There is no strike tomorrow.
To our next story, ahead of the elections of the constituency executives of the new patriotic party, the National Treasurer, hopeful Mary Porchodro, in an interview has urged all party faithfuls and executives of the party to ensure calmness in the electoral processes for constituency elections. She has asserted that picking of nomination forms must be free and fair to suit the satisfaction of all aspirants, likewise the voting and elections. According to her, the new patriotic party is the best party ever in the Fourth Republic, and that breaking the 8 must be an utmost concern to every party member. Again, she stated that breaking the 8 is an imperative agenda and requires all inclusiveness. She ended by using the opportunity to wish all potential aspirants the very best of luck in their contest.
Yo, I miss say. Aspirants no mpese omukofa forms no na omu yeto omu so aba no ye bebiem ama obi bia afa ne forms na odi akọ na yato ne so aba mese enuanum mpanyifo a ebehwe aba to eso eni enuanum MMDC yefo enuanum MP fo me pamo nyina achew se mesere mo a
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
na obi aspirants ni nyina enya sa akonya no na me contest bi na delegates into omo so aba if you say obi okra onwene enso yesi ne kwan pe wa fa ye ho tirimoka na ensem bebre bebu okra so na menya forms na menya ese yema obia aspirants no obia nkofa ne forms no onfele no onfanko mesere mo a medimi kotodwe gu form nsada mensayem if you say obi o ho asere meji kaka onweni o enso so bibi kakra bi abaye wose we na ama afa hu tirimuka breaking the 8 no e wose ye di onuado any unit na breaki nkabom na breaki 8 no to mesere mo a me pamocho mama ye hwe saade ni yie ye nuanu aspirants no so akofa forms no and as a present on forms and then ochina no me wish mu nyina good luck me bompire so obibia nsa abeka nakoma so
GTR News, the news others choose.
tina e hono so eno me damase bye bye.
Still local stories. The Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists celebrate the 2022 West African Lab Conference as International Biomedical Science Day at the Elisa Hotel. The theme for the occasion, Testing Times Biomedical Laboratory Scientists' Role in the COVID-19 pandemic. The Deputy Minister of Health, Honorable Tina Mensah, said the leadership leading at strategic direction to enabling the service deliver innovative service and effective healthcare to the people of Ghana. She further recommended the Ghana Association of the Medical Laboratory Scientists for a good job done and effective services.
Against more complex infections such as malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV. Even though achievements so far have been modest, the impact of vaccination on economic growth, sustainability, and efficiency of healthcare system has also been documented. Sufficient and equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines is therefore more around public health and economic imperative to manage COVID-19 pandemic. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic has, however, exposed our continent's vulnerabilities in ensuring access to vital drugs, vaccines, and health technologies. We have never been exposed so hard in our quest to vaccinate our target population, yet vaccine nationalism has so prevented us. More specifically, it has underscored the critical gap in vaccine manufacturing as a whole. Before COVID-19, Africa produced less than 1% of vaccines that it consumed, importing over 99% despite consuming over 25% of vaccines globally. As a continent, we must be deeply concerned about such vaccine inequalities given the potential for dangerous mutations that could affect vaccine effectiveness. We must commend initiatives by WHO and Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunizations for establishing the COVID-19 vaccines global access COVID facility, and that the African Union, Africa CDC establishing the African Vaccine Acquisition Task Force. That is the Africa.
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.
Honorable Tina Mensah, the Deputy Health Minister. Also, on the other hand, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaje, stated that the Ministry of Health is doing an effort to support the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists to deliver its mandate for effective workforce. He encouraged them to ensure diagnostic capabilities and vaccine sufficiency as a panacea for the combating infectious disease in West African countries. He said COVID-19 has exposed the world to the importance of accurate, reliable, and timely medical laboratory testing because the disease do not know boundaries.
Lab, for diagnosis, idea here pa. So who say idea pot here, I am in any sebaya witness so a young one. Say COVID or say Ebola or there say. Lab of fortune say Yarewe na your nonsense so Dr. Afonso my cry Ibeno. In the idea here, idea so Africa, your form kakra. As a group is a boy, am I a pigeon, am a Sabaya, friend diagnosis, no Sibyl who a bit who are about the Amphibia last year, do an affiliate Ghana for Nigeria, Liberia for
Mpempen so by na motion say mutumedi motion eni mapaputu mrene bribia mishie
oh say build the capacity share home some sebe ya ebetimi atre mu enye nipa bibira obetimi lab no na lab no so Ghana no so betimi pigere mu aye enema akese betimi bia na go she betimi so aye wa sebe ya diagnosis be said the lab sample be call abrochire ye call akwa ni nyina na bitima ya no na say Ghana kwa bitima free other sub regions so aba be ama bia
okay some lab then ni akonsidie ni ade e mo dumeti
oh say lab no there e bia on tiapo e say e pese hwa de kra ye o say moja ne etwe Johnson ne etwe ne manema ya show body no ne ma hu se ya report we ya bia nso wo akwankyerɛ kyerɛkyerɛ body no mo hwɛ do hu se we na ya untina ye hu we ma we na free untina ya ya sa ne ma no be
but who advice be the ma amanfo a ka say e ya omo lab a omo say bi omo nje yi hwema ya mo ye wo lab ne ade nti obapra na usuru ne ade wo futu to the man
performance laboratory there here pa
we are GTR Ghana Talks Radio
yo adibo ha bacteria de kiti I just said the special machines na hwe ne hu ade kura yo say virus say the enti ni nyina ya de a ekwan ya fa so hu no say ya rewe na eyo ansa ne hu ade papa e de ma ho beto njo so bia o modern say ka so on lab on fa ne si o ko se hia se be a be ma treatment a anya se be ma ne ma bebre ko so bia ase we the say hu se we ni ade report ya e wo no so na lab wa net ni so an
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.
About 6,000 students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology KNUST have been forced by the university to defer their courses. This was after KNUST issued a release notifying students who owe more than 70% of their school fees by April 7th will be deferred automatically, but the warning did not take effect at that time. According to sources, students were allowed to take part in the mid-semester exam, which started on April 11th. The students who still had arrears to cover were after the first week of April made to defer their courses. This was after KNUST issued that notification to students. The student has still have arrears to cover were also after the first week of April. Although 6,000 is a small proportion of the school's 85,000 population, it is the first time such a huge number of students have been affected. But some of the affected students says they are genuinely needy, stating that the bursaries and other scholarship they had applied for had not taken effect. Consequently, they want the school to extend the period. In an interview on Wednesday, the University Relations Officer Dr. Daniel Norris Bakit stated that the university's action is in the right direction. He noted that the issue of students not settling fees has persisted over the years. Therefore, the need to apply the fees policy this year, which has been approved by the academic board, and it is required that the undergraduate students must register their courses at the beginning of the semester and to pay 70% of their arrears.
Every university need to account for the number of students they have. So for a number of years, we have been having issues with students not paying fees, some of them completing university and going away with our fees. So this year, we have decided to apply the fee policy, which has been approved by the academic board. And it is required that as a student, if you're an undergraduate student, you must register your courses at the beginning of the semester and pay 70% of your fees. If you're a postgraduate student, you are supposed to pay 60% of your fees. Now we have given 2-month window from February through March to April 11th. And we have some numbers, about 92% of our student population who have been able to pay their fees and register their courses. And so those students are in good standing. What we are dealing with now is about 7 to 8% of the students who are unable to register their courses. Then we don't know the reason why they have not been able to do so. And the university over the years has given scholarship to a number of students. We are talking about students who have benefited from scholarship ranging to the numbers of about 6,000, 7,000. Last year, we gave free laptops to needy students, about 800 students. So the university is not insensitive. What we are having, the problem we have now is a number of students are playing games with the university. They use their school fees to buy Uber. Others are baking, they are setting up bakeries. Others are using it for betting. And these students, we have evidence. Some parents have even sent audios where students have received the fees but have refused to pay, or simply trading with the money. And we cannot allow this to continue as a university. That you and I have to find answers to.
How long has the school noticed this? Because you've talked about betting. That's quite worrying, that students are using their school fees to bet, buy Uber, bakery, amongst others. How long has this festered?
This has persisted for, I'll say, 2-3 years. Because previously we've had the notion that, okay, some people are genuinely having challenges, and so you allow them, you give them that leeway, and there's some complete with them without paying the fees. We tell you the amount of money that is outstanding in terms of fees is huge.
About how much are we looking at?
No, what we are talking about right now is in the region of almost 55 million Ghana cedis.
Over a period of a year, how many years?
No, I'm talking about this year.
Just this year,
We are
55 million in terms of
Ghana
arrears.
Talks Radio.
Yes. In arrears.
Well,
and it will interest you to note that in a year, we are spending over 22 to 24 million cedis just paying electricity bill. We are not talking about water. We are not talking about Wi-Fi. We are not talking about other
GTR News.
expenditure.
The news others choose.
Our focus is on business now, and the World Bank Group has announced that over the coming weeks it will be discussing with its governors and board of executive directors a 15-month crisis response financing packages of around $170 billion to help countries address multiple overlapping crises. Of this, the Bank Group is working to provide an initial crisis response of around $50 billion by the end of June 30th, 2022. The response also includes analytical work and policy advice at the country, regional and global levels to inform well-targeted crises and medium-term interventions. Developing countries are facing multiple overlapping crises, including the pandemic, rising inflation, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, large microeconomic imbalances in energy, as well as food supply shortages. These are causing massive reversals in poverty reduction, education, health, and gender equity. That is what the World Bank Group President David Malpass is saying. The World Bank Group will also respond to these crises with impact, speed, and scale, he concluded. The Member of Parliament for Asutifi North Constituency, Honourable Patrick Ibeno, has lambasted the claims that the approval of the electronic levy is going to be a heavy burden to the poor. In an interview, he disclosed that Ghanaians should condemn that allegations because the E-LEVY is going to help the poor and the vulnerable people to gain good access to roads, hospitals, at the rest. Also, it is not the poor who will be going to pay the charges, but the wealthy Ghanaians. He stated categorically that no poor person can send money more than 150 cedis in a day. Therefore, that allegation must come to an end.
Sir Obi Kase, E-LEVY, Yaja 20, ni mobile money ska or corridor, and also be a vendor, and as a mechanic or transfer mobile money into Oja Juma. Na as a Entiasebi na Unyai. E-LEVY. Eba ema sabi ehiafo ama ame sabi ansama for how ankan hiafo ho menka sa de nti ameka sa se sabi emu se ho me besa so ha Asutifi North anybody do saying na sabi omo eni bia omo sorry omo send this car emobi dodo na wona wo bie na omo send this car rather e de ma wona woni bi o E-LEVY na yes o ye transaction above 100 Ghana threshold na sabi ye to 1.5% sa 100 Ghana kwa send busa ho se enya for do say the okrom ha anakanya se na Asutifi North ade chia almost Sunday mobile 100 cedis amobi sabi yen mo a anasa wona won sam ye den e wo bi eno na ye che say sa ekwan amanfo fa so yes edwade e wo sikasam ho e wa abefo kwan so electronic wise no wona sabi won sam wo bi omo na bank transactions any mobile money any man e kan won mobile money nko e na E-LEVY na den affect no E-LEVY no ade a eba na ye jeje sa ato no aboa ama sabi onyani a sabi ne kwan evutro eku no sabi wotinya ne vudro za ku no ye fisu road na ho ye den ato no wono sa hia ne wotua bi na wo a wo ye mobile money no enya wo na wo betua eye de oba ba send no na eden etua anadina woja mobile money ye oto de me class se wo so ko yi mobile money every phone so na da se obotoma sabi akrofo na be eden ebeje but se wo tu finance ka wo phone so obi am eden
The news others choose.
In addition, he emphasized that there should be a proper education on this tax to good citizens of Ghana. So he admonished that all MPs should propagate the essence of this tax to the ordinary Guineans.
Many are the woman say, Sabrino, and then Ibeno Ekasa, Yababa Montenso, na Yabe education, Ama man for Atiasia, E-LEVY, the woman Cassa. Then get your education and Sunday Jatun. Yavieno, Nano Cassa, na mene, Obi Edingomo. Your kind say, hey, mobile E-LEVY started there. And I mean starting to a man for you. Meanwhile, so I didn't ever start me. Also, but start Nambuza say, now better a man for no. Sika wona better fana. I Sika buy better, and we are mobile money, I better there. I'm what the home for so. I quite them now by the head and put to Juma. So, it Mijis and Tiasabe bring here the encos. It's also 40 also. Now a year education more. So we are man for the Yamuntias.
If you just join us, this is the afternoon news on Ghana Talks Radio. On international front, the Chinese embassy in South Africa has donated R1 million of 66,000, I beg your pardon, dollars towards flood relief effort. But some South Africans have been complaining about how meager the amount is. Chinese Ambassador Chen Duanzong said the donation was part of its efforts to support South African people affected by the disaster in KwaZulu-Natal province. Social media users, however, said the amount was a joke when billions of rands are needed to rebuild everything. Another compared the Chinese donation to the bigger amount offered by a wealthy South African businessman, 1 billion rand from China, when we have Patrick Musepe donated 30 million as an individual, but a country that is rich, they are the second richest country in the world, but they donated $1 million. A Russian soldier has reportedly been killed in Hombori in Mali's central Mopti region. AFP news agency quoted the military memo as saying that a Russian advisor has struck an improvised explosion device on Tuesday morning. It said the Russian died after being airlifted to a hospital in the central town of Sevari. The AFP said an unnamed official in Sevari hospital official, as well as an elected official, had confirmed the death. Mali's army has not officially commented on the event. Still international stories, French President Emmanuel Macron went head-to-head with his far-right challenger Marine Le Pen over the country's diminishing influence in Africa during their only televised debate. Ms. Le Pen brought it up a way of criticizing Mr. Macron as being too Eurocentric and not globally minded. Mr. Macron responded by highlighting his effort to repair relations with former colonies and addressing the legacy of colonialism. To some entertainment stories, the producers of the film whose cinematographer was accidentally shot dead on set by Alec Baldwin have been fined and strongly criticized by authorities for failing to follow safety guidelines. The makers of the Rasta showed plain indifference to recognize hazards associated with the use of firearms on set. According to the New Mexico Environment Department, the agency has issued a maximum of $136,793, that is 105,000 euros fine to Rasta movie productions. Our final entertainment story, the rapper Rappa Rocky has been arrested in connection with the shooting last November, Los Angeles police have said. The star was taken into custody at Los Angeles International Airport on Wednesday as he returned from a holiday with girlfriend Rihanna. Police have been investigating the star, whose real name is Rakim Marius, for his potential involvement in a non-fatal shooting in Hollywood last year. He was released on bail of $550,000 shortly after his arrest. This is Roger the Curtains on the afternoon news. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can log on to our website www.ghanatalksradio.com for more news updates. My name is Sandra Asante. Stay tuned for the Spotted Bit. Enjoy your afternoon.
Get it big, get it here. Listen to all your live mixes, live radio programs, and live entertaining and news package programs right here from GTR, Ghana Talks Radio.